Hello, I'm back, and today we're going to talk about 5 more history nonfiction books that I think are worth your time. Fair warning, all of these are going to be pretty big, but I think it's worth it, and I think you can do it. I believe in you. Big books, they seem really intimidating, but if you just go in and you just take a little chunk at a time, it's fine. You can do it. Okay, John Adams, David McCullough. This is pretty self-explanatory. It's a biography of John Adams, but it's really well done, it's nice, and David McCullough is never, too academic. His writing is pretty personable and accessible, in my opinion, even though this one does sometimes. You're gonna hit some points that are very detailed and will feel like a bit of a slog, but the other parts make up for it, in my opinion. I think this is also what that John Adams mini-series is based on, but I've never watched that, so I can't tell you much about that, but I think it's nice. It's chunky, but you can get through it. It's not that bad. This one came with a Bath & Body Works coupon. I didn't buy this. I didn't get this. I don't even know how old this is. New. Let's go to Italy. Wow. Wait, what's the year? 2013. It's vintage. Okay, our next one, The Demon of Unrest, Erik Larson. This is about basically the lead up to the American Civil War, to Fort Sumter and everything that happens there, and how it devolves and how we get to that point, and how the American Civil War, how it actually breaks out and begins. And this is very well done. If the David McCullough one, the John Adams one, can get a little too in the weeds, this one does not. In my opinion, you'll still get the politics, the economics, the things that are a little more raw fact that you have to just kind of get through. But you're going to have that with any sort of nonfiction history you read. And I think this one is very, very, very well done. It's very, personable too. So you'll get a lot about different people's lives and almost little characters, which I think is good. I had some kind of complaint about this one, but now I can't remember. Yeah, I think Larson does a good job of explaining these events really well without it becoming too dull, but also in a way that is broad enough that everyone can understand and that you can kind of connect the dots yourself to. Yeah, I really like this. Really well done. It also feels very intense. I like sometimes in a nonfiction book when you can get more immersed than in some of them. It feels much more personable, kind of like I said, and so you can kind of feel the tension and it's not super dry. I think this is good. Okay, we have Ulysses Grant in War and Peace, H.W. Brands. Spot's down here. She doesn't know how to read, though. Okay, this is a biography of Ulysses Grant, who was the Union general in the Civil War, and also a president. I don't know what number. Oops. Similar to the John Adams one, it's a biography, but it's not too dull. That is the key here. None of these are gonna put you to sleep. Well, parts of them might, but for the most part, it's not gonna put you to sleep. I think this does a good job of summarizing Grant's life in a less biased way. So Grant can be a little, maybe not controversial is the right word, but just people are very opinionated about Grant. And I think this one is not super opinionated. That was a terrible sentence. That made no sense. What was I even saying there? In some biographies, you can just tell that the author does not like the person they're writing about, or on the flip side, you can tell that they care a little too much and they like them a little too much, and so then they start to become more biased. And I think that's easy to do with Grant too, because there's so many suspicions about his potential alcoholism and how did that affect him as a general, and was he still an active alcoholic while he was a general, or was he not? And his administration had a lot of corruption, and I think H.W. Brands sifts through all of that really well and doesn't let the rumors overshadow what we actually know, if that makes sense. So I think this was really nice. It's a great, I would say a great introduction, but it is also big. So it's a nice overview, in my opinion. Okay, we have another one from Erik Larson, In the Garden of Beasts. Love, Terror, and an American Family in Hitler's Berlin. So this follows the family of an American diplomat. So this follows the family of America's first ambassador to Hitler's Germany in, the 1930s? Yeah, 1933 is when it starts, and you spend most of your time there in the early 1930s because it's about their time, his family's time there, and you follow that family and you get all of their different perspectives about what is going on in Germany at this time. And again, kind of like the last Erik Larson one, it's very personable. And what I mean by that is you get more details about their actual life and not just sort of a rundown of the facts of this happened and then this happened. and then this happened, and then they talked to this person, and then, it's more like, and here's how their day went. That makes it sound kind of like fluffy, but it's not, because it's giving you all of these a good window into Germany at this time. This one, very, very enjoyable, very easy to read. It's not quite as big as the other ones, so I think that makes it a little easier to get to. This one also, it keeps the tension up. This one, you feel a lot of tension, especially towards the end of their time there, when it gets even more hostile, especially to them. So I like this one. I think it's really good. It's really well done. I think you should read this one. If you read any of these, I think it should be this one, because it's easier to access, and there's a lot of really good information that you don't get in a lot of places, because it is focused on this specific time and this specific family. If that makes sense. Okay. No Ordinary Time, Doris Kearns Goodwin. This is Franklin and Eleanor Roosevelt, the home front in World War II. It's kind of another big one, but she did win the Pulitzer Prize for this one. So, it's good, at least by that metric. This is more on the detailed side. This one can be quite dull in places. Again, because it's just so detailed, and there's a lot about, how do you say that? There are a lot of instances of what is the government doing? What is this bill doing? And then who do you have to talk to get this bill to go? It's a lot of politicking happening. Obviously, it's the president. But I think she does a good job of interspersing all of that with what for me is the more interesting details, which is their relationship, Eleanor and Franklin's relationship, their backgrounds, how they interact, who they bring in to the White House, and how, I think it's just very well done. Am I missing anything? You also get a good feel for who they are as people, and also some of the people they're interacting with, like some of their private secretaries and the people helping them, and some of the lawmakers at the time. And I think that's one of the markers of a good biography is can I finish this and have a decent idea of who I think this person kind of was. I have all those in there because, you never really know. But it can give you a good picture and a good image. Yes, I think this one is very good. Probably my second favorite out of all of these. I think so. Oh, I just dropped that book on spot. She didn't like that. Okay. Those were 5 more history nonfiction books I think you should read if you have the time. There are a lot out there. There's a lot of history nonfiction out there, and sometimes it is hard to tell what is good and what is going to put you to sleep and would take the place of your melatonin. So none of those that I just showed you would be that, I think. If they are, don't come for me. I do my best, okay? So I think that's all for me. Thank you for coming around for this one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And let's see what Spot has to say. Do you have any thoughts? Wow. Enlightening. Goodbye.